Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another Project Zomboid video. Recently, the developers behind Project Zomboid posted an update on their news page, which specifically focused on multiplayer and its status at the moment. I know a lot of people have been asking when it's likely to drop, and to be honest, I have as much idea as you guys, but this recent news update gave us a bit of an insight into how long it might take, the reason behind the time it's taking, and what's to come in the future. If you do find this video useful, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel for more Project Zomboid tips, gameplay, and guides. I also stream on Twitch almost every day at twitch.tv/MrAtomicDuck if you want to catch some gameplay live or just ask me some questions. So I'm going to leave a full link to the news update in the description of this video, but I'll be doing a bit of a summary here if you just prefer to listen or watch, and we'll talk a bit more about my take on multiplayer and the time it's taking. So this update came on June 17th, and honestly the only reason I've not made a video on this sooner is because I've been in the middle of moving into a new apartment and then ended up without internet for over a week. It was bad. I even considered reading a book, if you'll believe that. Makes me shudder thinking about it. Anyway, the focus of this update was essentially around multiplayer, something Project Zomboid players have been eagerly awaiting for quite some time now with the newest build of the game, Build 41. Essentially, the developers crack open this update by saying that the game needs more time in the oven before they feel comfortable releasing multiplayer. Now, I know a lot of people, especially in my Twitch chat, have said things like, "Hey Duck, why don't they just release co-op on a small scale, like 1 to 4 players, or things to that effect?" Well, in this update, the developers say, and I quote, "The deeper we've looked into it, the more systematic issues deep down have reared their heads. 2 players or 32 players, it doesn't matter. The same issues get in the way of a positive and solid player experience." So yeah, that answers that one for you. Those of you that have followed Project Zomboid for a long time now are probably already aware that the team don't like to set dates for the release of anything because they don't want to let the player base down if they have to push things back, which to be honest I fully respect and even appreciate, especially when it's quite a small dev team. Delays have gotten far too common in recent years when it comes to early access titles and even AAA titles, so I'd much rather they just work on it until it's ready. That said, the team do give a ballpark estimate of anything up to 6 months for multiplayer to come to Build 41 in a state that they are happy for it to be played. Now I want to stress here, that's a ballpark estimate. It could be longer, it might not take that long, who knows. Really, I think this was just given to appease those people that seemingly can't get out of bed in the morning without something having a set release date. And no doubt if it does take longer than 6 months, Reddit will be raising its pitchforks and torches. But for the reasonable people amongst you, which obviously all of you guys are because you're watching this video, you want to keep in mind that this is not a guarantee. Now again, there is a bit more of an in-depth explanation on the news update itself available on the link in the description, but that is the gist of it. But this bad news comes with an equal amount of good news and features for players to look forward to, which I'd absolutely love to talk about. Now essentially the team have decided that rather than waiting for Build 41 to move to multiplayer, they're going to start adding features that they were previously planning to hold back until that stage. This includes a whole host of gameplay features, but the biggest ones are the continued work on Louisville, Zomboid's first built-in city without the use of mods, and Noiseworks sound overhaul. This is one that I want to talk to you about in a bit more detail. For those of you that don't know, a team called Noiseworks are going to be overhauling every single sound in Project Zomboid, literally all of them. If you aren't familiar with Noiseworks, they are a sound design studio focusing solely on video games and cinematics for video games, and they aren't a small company either. They've worked on some huge titles in the past, most notably games like Alien Isolation, Ark Survival Evolved, several games in the Total War series, and even the entirety of the cinematics in Mortal Kombat 11. They're an experienced team, and to be honest, I couldn't be more excited to see some of the skill put into Project Zomboid. Lastly, something that you guys should be aware of is that Project Zomboid's weekly updates, the Thursdoids, are now becoming bi-weekly. That's every other week, and one of these every month will be focusing on the multiplayer development side of the game to give the developers a bit more room to breathe. So that's it from me in this one, folks, but I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on multiplayer in the comments, Louisville, and the upcoming sound overhaul for Project Zomboid as well, so please feel free to have your say. Thanks guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.